Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Monday, February 24th, 2014. I am Astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. I did my show Spiritual House sessions over the weekend, channeling the astrology, pulling tarot cards, putting it all into an awesome house music mix. The visual and audio links are down below, and I'm doing my big webinar on Friday, going deep into March, which is going to be so powerful. We're opening up a huge portal and there is so much changing in our lives. The registration link for that is down below. And today we've got the moon in Capricorn, and I think it goes so well with what's happening. We've got a big week of preparing. We've got Mercury, which is going to come out of a retrograde. We've got a new moon, which is going to come in at the end of this week. We've got a lot of planets which are about to switch gears. So of course the universe wants us to get down to business. Our intuition is leading us into a lot of different places. But more importantly, it's about setting our ship in the right direction and letting the wind flow us. And I think it's important for us to starting to decide which direction are we going to point our ships. Because we have a big wave from the universe that's going to pull us into some amazing directions, we've got to make sure that we're holding true to our value systems in ourselves, that we're manifesting our goals, our achievements, that we're identifying correctly in our lives. And today, the moon's going to come into the big cardinal cross energy that's really been here in all these cardinal crosses, which means there could be pressure on the decisions to make. Right when you think you might have made one decision, there's going to be another one right behind it. And I think that that's important because we are setting ourselves up here for a big portal to open up here at the end of this week. And I think it's important for you to get down to business and take it seriously. Even though Pisces wants to be magical and just lose ourselves and sometimes get lost in the unconscious realms, it's about connecting to our higher vibration. It can be a little bit cloudy, but I think today if we pay attention to the end goals in our life, if we pay attention to what we identify our lives with, and more importantly, if we're willing to make sure that we have comfort zones in the right direction, which means we don't get too lazy in our life right now, that we're trying to find comfort in making decisions, I think this can be a powerful day for you to finally move forward, to present kind of a moving forward in the chessboard of your life, to getting closer and closer onto target. But this can be a day where if you're hanging on the fence, if you're not willing to step into decisions, if you're not willing to pay attention to the truth that the universe has been signaling you, because today is a day that I feel that the universe has showed you all clues. And you've got to make decisions in yourself now. It actually does also define with your free will. And I think it's important for us to set our free will in the direction that the universe can make our goals happen, that can make our dreams happen. In all honesty, this is about your dreams. This is about manifesting your higher self. This is about manifesting your truth, your desires deep down inside of yourself. And in order to do that, it's going to take some big decisions, and it's going to take a plan as well. And part of decisions bridge to plans, and where are these long-term plans in your life going? And there's a lot of pressure around the cardinal signs right now, and the moon's going to come into this big cardinal cross energy, which definitely means that there's pressure on these decisions. There's pressure on our goals. Can they be identified in our lives correctly? Are there comfort zones that we're willing to give up and stretch? Because Jupiter's at a stationary position getting ready to go direct at pretty much a week from now. And I think it's important for us to look at, well, there's a lot around these comfort zones. There's a lot around where are we going to nest ourselves correctly? Or more importantly, where are we going to root our lives? Are we going to root our lives in the goals, in the identification of self that is what we really want? Or are we going to make maybe sacrifices? Are we going to maybe get rid of some of the things we identify with? Maybe drop certain plans for maybe different relationships, maybe different connections in our life? And that's that Mars and Libra story in the North Node here. There's that other half. There's those sides of the fence that we are stuck on. And I just got to give you the golden egg here. It's not easy because there are goals that we have to achieve. There is an identification of self, of what we came down here to do. And more importantly, there are emotions in our life that are going to be more comfortable than another. Trust me, they do make more comfortable mattresses than other ones. You know what I mean? There's also, nicer hotel rooms than other ones. And I think in our lives, we're going to have to start to pick it. We're going to have to pick. Now, Mercury retrograding is part of all this. We're trying to find all the right outlets in our life, and we're trying to figure out if we can get all of our alien energy together. You know, one thing about Mercury retrograde in Aquarius is it really looks at everything so different, and we look at every angle. And we've looked at so many different angles, and those angles are starting to slow down. And I think that the universe is trying to pop out inside of us, especially from the other side, from our angels, from signs all over. That the signs should be pretty clear. I think that the universe delivered some pretty heavy signs over the weekend. And now it's whether or not in our earthly sense, in our free will sense, that we're going to take action. And this is the last week of Mars direct. Mars is going to go retrograde. If you're not too familiar with astrology, Mars doesn't go retrograde for years at a time. And then that's Mars going backwards in our view from Earth. And these are our actions. These are our strengths. This is our masculine energy. This is a week to use the masculine energy, to use your drive into directing your ship's bow in the right direction, towards your inner peace and harmony, but reminding yourself that you can't go about this too peacefully. Now that might sound crazy, but what I mean is that you're going to have to take some sort of action. You know, if you had to pick between two people, you got to pick one. And if you're trying to play all sides, you're overextending yourself, that you're not going to be able to make your accomplishments happen. You're not going to be able to define your own self, and more importantly, you're not going to be able to find a certain place to root your flower to grow tall. Because this is all about rooting our life. It's like a tree. If a tree is rooted in the right direction or the right place, it's going to grow tall. If you put a tree in the middle of Los Angeles, hint, hint, I live in the middle of Hollywood, you know, the sidewalk's going to get over the roots. It's not going to grow that tall. Are you planning your life right now in directions, relationships, circumstances that are not allowing you to grow to your fullest and true potential that you know deep inside yourself? There is this deep internal knowing now. It's time to act on that. It's time to not wait on the fence anymore. It's time for you to look. Now, today is not maybe a day that you have to make these decisions, although it's important, I think, to start to take as many decisions as you can and at least understand all the goals and adjust your life to get ready for these adjustments and to start to steer your ship in the right direction. I think there's a lot of doors to close. And I think this is what this is about. Is what doors are you going to close? What doors are you ready to open? Because we've got this week before the takeoff happens. But I think that today and the next day are definitely truth. There is the identification of self, and there's everything that you've ever wanted in your life waiting for you as long as you're directing yourself in the right direction in the wind. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, if you have any questions or if you want to book a one-on-one reading. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you tomorrow.